Tonight, under the lights, it's the mecca of high school football stadiums.
That was different bounce.
IMG Academy invades Dade County to lock horns with the Northwestern Bulls. Carson Beck of Mandarin High School is our five-star Friday feature.
Probably what stands out to most people is there's not a throw he can't make.
While Hurricane Dorian created chaos up the coast, Bluntstown football is back after Hurricane Michael.
When them leaves start falling off them trees, them folks in Class A better watch out.
We have the upsets.
I want y'all to feel this moment. That's why we allow.
All under the lights.
Well, hello there. It's great to see you again. I'm Dave Aizer.
And I'm Kailey Mizelle. Welcome to Under the Lights.
Florida High School Football Final.
Presented by Honda, it's 30 minutes of the best high school football highlights from throughout the Sunshine State.
Well, while Hurricane Dorian played chicken with the Florida coast for what seemed like a week, it really messed up a lot of the high school teams and their football schedules. The damage in the Bahamas gives you good reason why games were postponed or canceled. The Jacksonville area had a lot of cancellations. In Orlando, they pushed the games back to Monday for the most part, and in Tampa, the games were on Saturday night, which we'll get to in a bit.
Some area football programs are involved with gathering donations for people in the Bahamas who are affected. St. Thomas Aquinas is asking the community to drop off supplies at the gym for Monday weekly pickups. Northwestern boosters are asking you to bring supplies to next week's game versus Killian.
Okay, if you were out looking for us last week, we were out covering games, but we did have to postpone our show due to that Cat 5 sitting out there on the coast. In fact, we weren't even allowed in the building, safety precautions and all. But we did get out and we did get to cover some games, including teams heading to Atlanta to play in the Freedom Bowl. In what was called the Prep Bowl between Berlin and Gulliver Prep, Gulliver Prep had quite a passing attack led by sophomore QB Carson Haggard. Gulliver scored on its two first possessions. Haggard had 262 yards passing with a pair of TDs. Future Hurricane Don Chaney Jr. did finally get loose for a couple of touchdowns, but it wasn't enough. 45-16 in favor of the Raiders. Armwood headed north to play North Gwinnett. Armwood led 3-0 at halftime with zero offense going on. This baby went into overtime, where Armwood was held to a field goal, while North Gwinnett hit the game winner. Even fooled our cameraman. Armwood loses 26-23. Staying in the Atlanta region, over in Milton at the Freedom Bowl, Winter Park took on Ohio's big school state champion in Pickerington Central. Pickerington controlled the game on the ground, loaded with future D1 prospects, winning 34-21. Back to Fort Lauderdale for what would have been a game of the week. Miami Palmetto taking on Cardinal Gibbons. Palmetto's Kevin Smith lets the snap get behind him. It ends up in a safety. It was pretty tight until Cardinals QB Brody Pelleggi, who broke the standstill on the scoreboard with this jump pass. He hits Mike Jackson, who takes the bubble screen for the distance, but it was the play of Troy Stellato. He takes the crossing pattern 70 yards, gives Cardinal Gibbons the lead. Palmetto had a last chance, but the ball was dropped with plenty of room to run. Gibbons wins 23-21, and the safety is the difference. Huge win for the program.
Lakeland taking on George Jenkins, and George Jenkins wastes no time punching it in. Tyreek Starks on the 9-yard QB draw, and then Lakeland answers with DeMarcus Bowman. His 7-yard scamper ties the game, but he wasn't done there. He added a 56-yard dash down the sideline to give the Dreadnoughts a lead, and then this happened. Quidar Hall lays the block, and big man Anthony Smith picks up the rock. I love to see big men run for their life. Lakeland rolls 38-6 for their 19th straight win. And it's never too early for our Advent Health return of the week, so we're actually going to sneak in too. Lakeland's Finley Graham anticipates the high bounce and then shows off his quick feet as he maneuvers through the Eagles' punt cover. 8 of them, to be exact. He gets great field position even though he is eventually taken down. And on the next one, he shows everybody why he's going to be a Florida Gator. Skirt! He's got to go to the other side. When you have the speed to go around and all the way to the end zone, why not? And that's why he'll be in orange and blue next year and why he's our Advent Health return of the week.
Traz Powell Stadium in South Florida is known for hosting some huge games, and there was another one this past weekend. Here we go. Big game as the Central Rockets take on the Carroll City Chiefs. Both teams are ready to play. You see that they're pumped up. Well, so was Carroll City freshman QB Keion Jenkins. He fires a quick screen pass to Ty Jones-Bell, and Bell does the rest as he dances down the sideline. Central, yeah, they were impressed, but you know what? They play a little offense too. Katravis Marsh avoids the rush, rolls left, finds Giovanni Ribalta, who makes an outstanding catch, which set up a touchdown. How about a little more from this combo? Marsh again hits Ribalta. This one is a touchdown. Now, Marsh lets his running backs do the work. As superstar in the making, Amari Daniels finds something out of nothing, turns it into a touchdown. This was a great game. Keion Jenkins trying to answer for Carroll City, and he does as Earl Pope III hauls in the pass, breaks a tackle, gets into the end zone, but in the end, too much Miami Central. Juan Henry up the middle for 6. Central with 295 yards on the ground. They win 49-26. We don't want to give away all the goods when it comes to our big game feature. However, the Orlando Health Catch of the Week happened in the Northwestern IMG game. Northwestern's Cahill Brantley one-handed snag sticks out his paw, and then the run afterwards. All right, seriously, we don't want to give away all the goods, but our big game feature will have more on this catch a little later in the show. Cahill Brantley with the Orlando Health Catch of the Week.
Our first time seeing number 6 Chaminade Madonna taking on Miami Christian. Dave, you think the victors can hold true to their name?
I'm not saying.
Well, Lions QB Alexander Law drops back, goes to Braylon Brown, who goes the over-the-shoulder grab for the touchdown, 10-0. And the Lions, well, they keep roaring. Thaddeus Franklin with the keeper. Another Chaminade scored 20-0 third quarter. Law hits Joshua Jenkins in the end zone this time. 34-0. Miami Christian gets on the board, but they can't stop the number 6 Lions, 34-13. In a top 10 matchup with number 8 Columbus and number 10 South Dade, it didn't disappoint. Early on, it was all Columbus, and a guy that you might recognize. Henry Parrish, a 16-yard touchdown run, puts the Explorers up 7-0. And it worked the first time, so why not do it again? Parrish again, this time the stiff arm and into the end zone. Columbus is riding a 14-0 lead, but South Dade not going down easy. 4th and goal for the Bucks. Kelvin Durham escapes pressure, finds Jermaine Hawkins wide open for the score, 14-7 at the half. And South Dade continued their momentum after halftime. In the first 2 minutes, Durham scrambles for 42 yards, then plays later hits Trayvon Sanders to tie the game at 14. The Buccaneers gaining confidence. And after a drive led by running back Chezzy Matthews, Durham goes deep, a perfect ball and a perfect catch. South Dade, for the first time in 6 years, took down their Class 8A rival 21-14.
9th-ranked Trinity Christian battling 17th-ranked Venice. Both teams had cancellations due to Dorian, so they were able to put this game on the books. It was a thriller. First quarter, Ja'Cory Jordan hits Marcus Burke for the touchdown, and the Conquerors grab a 7-0 lead. Venice strikes back as Nico Della Costa lofts a touchdown pass to Weston Wolf. And now Venice with the ball again. Ryan Overstreet at quarterback. Great footwork by him as he avoids the rush, but this is one he's going to want to have back. Picked off by Fred Davis as Trinity's sideline erupts. This game went to double overtime and ended in style. Overstreet on 4th down needs a touchdown, looks left, and hits Malachi Weidman for the score. Now Venice goes for 2 and the win, and they get it. Brian Taylor crosses the goal line. He had 176 yards on the ground for Venice, and the Indians win 50-49 in double OT. What a game, and what a celebration. All right, feeling it? Feels like we have our playoff swagger going?
Yeah, and make sure that you check out utlflorida.com for more highlights and features.
Coming up, no one field is given the rite of passage to the league like the Traz Powell. Our big game feature is still to come. We check in on a future Bulldog who has the makings of a future Heisman.
Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Advent Health. Our goal is to help you feel whole. And by the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it.
Carroll City Fighting Chiefs marching band, usually a time for our photographer to catch his breath, but these guys brought it at halftime. Old Town Road. Their fight song is very war chant-like, almost tomahawk-like. We continue going through our top 20 programs and heading on up to the Tampa region. Who's going to be the top team coming out of that region? Armwood's going to try to be number 12, looking to rebound after an overtime loss in Georgia last week, heading to Bloomingdale. Quarterback Cameron Ransom keeps the rock and gets to the corner of the end zone for the score, 7-0 Hawks. They keep on rolling. Ransom hits Charles Montgomery, who has nothing but room. And Armwood not going to be stopped. Why? Not try the long ball this time. Ransom, with great protection, throws it up. Montgomery has the defenders beat. Jumping for the catch just shy of the end zone. Armwood beats up on the Bulls 28-0.
The Clearwater Central Catholic Marauders against the Tampa Catholic Crusaders in a matchup of the intimidating team names. Jordan Niles of the Marauders rushed for nearly 200 yards and got a big chunk of it on this play. And there was much more of Niles to enjoy here. He takes a direct snap, scampers into the end zone. And you know what, Kailey? If it worked once, let's just do it again.
Why not?
Yeah. Another direct snap to Niles, another touchdown. CCC rolls 27-9. Big thank you to our friends in Pensacola, WEAR TV, bringing us some serious highlights between Milton and Navarre. Promising start for Navarre as Marlon Courtney III hits Tyler England, and he's running all the way to England. Except, of course, he'd have to swim at some point. Still, though, an 82-yard touchdown, 21-7 Navarre at the half. Milton answers. Noah Wingate lofts one to Raymond Cottrell, who tiptoes and stays in the end zone to make it 21-13. Milton on the offensive again, about 2 minutes left. Wingate deep ball to Cam Hall, 10-5, but no! He fumbles it. The defense recovers in the end zone. Touchback, game over. And Navarre makes it 10 wins in a row over Milton, 21-13. Heartbreaker.
Last year, Mandarin beat Miami Columbus to win the Class 8A state championship. Coach Bobby Ramsey thought that they had as good of a chance as anybody coming out of the districts. Carson Beck was built to play football. At 6'5" and 225 pounds, he had all the top colleges calling him. But the Jacksonville native decided to commit to Georgia. He first impressed the Bulldogs' Kirby Smart with his cannon.
Big arm. I think that stands out first and foremost. Definitely a guy that can make all the throws. I think that's probably what stands out to most people is there's not a throw he can't make. Fitting it in there where DB's coverage is tight, he can just put it in there where only his guy can catch it.
Carson's stats speak for themselves. Last year, he led Mandarin to their first state championship, and he totaled more than 3,500 passing yards with 39 touchdowns and just 8 interceptions. But it's not just his arm. Beck lives for the mental side of the game.
It's so mental, and ever since I was a kid, I think I fell in love with that part of the game. Understanding what you have to do as offense. Obviously, every single play, you got to get into the right formation, you got to set up right, make sure the right amount of guys are on the line, make sure everyone's in the right position, and then after that, then you have to know the play, then you have to know what the defense is doing, and then as you get older and older, you have to understand all these different types of coverages.
And his coach knows it too. In fact, one of the reasons Mandarin's defense is so good is because they have to face Beck in practice.
He's more of a defensive guy, but I love tearing up the defense. I feel like sometimes he gets a little bit mad at me at some of the throws that I make during practice, but I know that it makes them a lot better, and they make me a lot better. They're super athletic.
If you think Beck resembles another number 18, you're not too far off. The 2018 Florida Mr. Football winner knows this will be a tough season, with not only a target on their back, but having graduated almost 20 seniors. This is a different team, one Beck is determined to lead.
We got a bunch of young guys, and personally for me, I'm taking that as like a leadership challenge. And how can I just better myself every day, mentally, physically, kind of how to be like an on-the-field coach essentially, because I feel like as you get older and older into college and then hopefully the NFL, like that's what you have to be as a quarterback, is that almost second offensive coordinator and know what you got to do on the field.
Sometimes we try to be everywhere and cover every game, but we get burned when schools do things like score touchdowns. And our boy Andy had to go to 2 games. We got to Miramar in time for a Miramar touchdown, but unfortunately we didn't get to see American Heritage Romp. We will be there next week, Coach Sertan, no worries. The MacArthur cheerleaders were fired up for their game against 16th-ranked Nova Southeastern University. Turns out they had a lot to cheer about. Mustang QB Horace Atkins Jr. lofts a pretty pass down the sideline. Nice touch, big fella. Setting up first-team All-County running back Jalen Taylor, who scores from 3 yards out, and MacArthur upsets NSU 19-0.
Checking in on the 20th ranked team in the state, Western hosting Miami Springs. Western's game got canceled last week due to Dorian, and they took it out on Miami Springs early on. Sedquan Smith airs it out to Karan St. Louis, who makes the jumping touchdown, 31 up. Western starting the second quarter blocks the punt, and that was Brian Blades returning it. And Dave, they keep going, more special teams. Omar Simpson returns a punt for 45 yards and the touchdown. Western had a 67-0 lead at halftime, 74-0 the final.
That's a lot of points. Okay, that takes care of the top 20. Well, sort of, because we still have some great stuff coming up that you're not going to want to miss.
Well, make sure to follow us on Twitter using the hashtag UTLFlorida. We want to know who you want to be the featured player of the week.
Still to come, IMG Academy is on another level. But are they good enough to beat some of Dade's finest? And the lights got turned on for the first time since Hurricane Michael. We have Blountstown highlights next on Under the Lights.
The folks in the Panhandle know all too well about the pain of rebuilding after a hurricane. A year ago, Hurricane Michael tore through and left many people picking up the pieces. Blountstown was hit pretty hard, damaging the school. The high school roof is still tarped. The elementary school was demolished. The field house was used as a shelter for weeks. The football field torn apart, and the kids haven't had a home to play in. No normalcy until this past Friday night when the lights were turned on for the first time.
Family on three, family on three. Oh, 1, 2, 3, family.
Blountstown hosting Mariana at Ted Cooper Stadium at Bowles Field. Football, a part of the foundation that keeps things normal. Senior running back Trevon Smith carried the workload for the Tigers, rushing for 197 yards, 2 touchdowns on just 11 carries. Blountstown moves to 2-0. We want to thank Coach Bo Johnson for getting us film from there. Archbishop Spalding traveling down to Orlando from Maryland to make the most of their trip. They take on Bishop Moore. And Austin Tuas laterals to Bryson Carter, who leaves a literal trail of dust for the Hornets. Yeah, no one's catching up with him. And then it's Bishop Moore's turn. Dustin Radford deep pass to Dylan Brazil, who makes the sliding catch, but the top-ranked Cavs too much for the Hornets. Cavs leave with a 56-14 win.
Be sure to keep the conversation going by using the hashtag UTLFlorida.
And we still have more to come. Can't believe we're almost in the fourth quarter.
Get your popcorn ready. We have the big game feature next. And we salute the state's top performers. That's all coming up on Under the Lights.
Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Vico Painting Contractors, a commercial painting company that delivers top quality work and excellent customer satisfaction. And by Orlando Health, a not-for-profit network of leading community hospital.
The winner of our Under the Lights Lottery Pick 4 Twitter poll of the week was Henry Parrish Jr.
The Columbus Explorer opened up the Florida high school football season with 324 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. The Pittsburgh Panther commit electrified social media with possibly the play of the year in a 41-7 win over Berlin.
Now Henry got 36% of the vote, 4% better than Columbia's Jordan Smith.
Palmetto heading to Melander Park to take on Hialeah. The Panthers loaded with top junior talents in the nation, but Hialeah QB Jalen Tolbert connects with future Cane Frederick Eford for the 37-yard score and almost a soccer goal too, multi-purpose stadium. It was a close game until the Palmetto defense went prime time on them first. It was Corey Collier. There's a reason you don't throw his way, and the reason is he's very good. The interceptions returned 70 yards for the score. Not to be outdone, Collier's teammate Derek Edwards gets into the act as he walks this INT into the end zone. And to top it all off, Jason Marshall picks off the pass, nice catch, turns himself around, and you know where this is going. He's going to dance down the sideline, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. Palmetto's defense, the difference, 34-13. And this seems like a good time for our Vico Painting Defensive Play of the Week. We got to go to Palmetto's all-world athlete, Corey Collier. He had 2 interceptions against Hialeah. We showed you the first one, and here's the second. Collier is a class of 2021 prospect who has over 40 FBS offers. He was headed to the end zone. He was stripped of the ball at the 1-yard line. So what? Great play anyway.
Now, we didn't forget about the biggest game of the week between a national powerhouse in IMG and one of Dade's finest in Northwestern, who's ranked 3rd in our state poll.
It's the mecca of high school football, Nathaniel Traz Powell Stadium.
Have a different bounce. 1, 2, 3, go!
No one high school field in America has graduated more to the league. Tonight's matchup is a David versus Goliath matchup. IMG Academy is a football program born to bred next-level athletes. 6-time state champion Miami Northwestern Bulls find themselves in an underdog role for the first time this season. The first play of the game, it was a bit of foreshadowing. IMG's Lavesia Carroll sprinted 84 yards for the opening score. Holding was the first of 36 penalties thrown in the game, nullifying the score. For the rest of the half, Northwestern's defense didn't give up many inches to the Ascenders. Northwestern held IMG to just 3 points at the half. In the second, the Bulls turned to their freshman quarterback Tayron Dixon to spark the offense. With the wind at his back, his first pass sailed right into the arms of IMG's O.J. Burrows. Burrows did his primetime dance to the end zone, leaving Northwestern down 10-0. Dixon responded with a 76-yard pass play thanks largely to Kahil Brantley, whose one-handed catch was about as quick as his turn. The touchdown run electrified the Bulls bench, while leaving the Traz Powell buzzing. Just when you thought there was hope for an upset, the returning kickoff was returned to the house. 95 yards for Ari Allen, and just like that, the air was let out of the stadium. But it was O.J. Burrows who was the brightest star under the lights. O.J. ended the Bulls' scoring threat at the 1-yard line by his second pick of the night. O.J.'s plays helped hand Northwestern its first loss of the year, 24-7.
Now time for our top performances of the state. You go on Twitter and vote for who you want to be the player of the week at Fox Sports FL. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
This has been Under the Lights, Florida High School Football Final, brought to you by Honda.